What's up, YouTube? What you're looking at is my Ngc submission that I had sent out a month and a half ago. And you can see that they're in two separate containers. And this is because one batch I had sent for regrade and conservation, and the other was sent in as just conservation. So they sent them back and charged me shipping for both, even though they got sent at the same time and received at the same time. So just keep in mind that you can combine invoices and shipping if you call ahead. Some of you might be wondering why I decided to send in pandas for grading, and that's because graded pandas are very expensive, especially in the 90s. If you look at eBay prices, you'll notice that the cost for a graded panda is exceptionally high. So by having them graded at NGC and sending in some other coins that I would potentially sell, I lower the purchase price by once again selling graded coins, and also my average cost for purchasing is lowered because the coins when purchased and graded is lower than buying graded. The first group of coins, 3 of them were regrades that had some really nasty red spots on them, and the one in pink was a special coin that needed to be submitted individually. So it's not on the other invoice and came in this box. Let's have a look at what we got. So first up is the individual coin, which is a 1998 1/20th ounce, which came back MS69 after conservation. So this also had some minor red spots, and you can see that it's been cleaned up pretty nicely. And now that it's conserved, it should last quite a while for its new owner. This coin's already sold, and I'm sure the owner will be pretty happy with the way it looks. If you recall from one of my older videos, I had already bought and sold one of these, and this is another one that doesn't belong to me, but has already been sold. So the 1998 is a key date year and highly sought after. Next up is one of my favorite coins, the 2004 1/10 ounce 50 Yuan, which came back MX69 and was MS69, so no change. It just looks a lot better because it had some nasty red spots and it was in an older holder. So now it's all modernized and looks good enough to put back into the collection. Next up is also a treat for panda lovers, which is the 1999 1/4 ounce large date Serif 1. This is the rarest of the 1999 variety, and the difference is in the 1 in the font on the back. This coin being regraded and conserved looks a lot better than when it went in. So NCS does a magical job where you can't even tell where the red spots used to be, and now I have no reservations in conserving my gold pandas whenever I send in older ones. So kudos to them, and also I trust their regrade service. The last regrade of the bunch was the 1999 1/10 ounce small date, which came back MS70. So this actually bumped up a grade after being conserved and doubled the value, which is quite amazing and pretty much paid for the grading for all my coins if I were to sell it today. I was pretty happy when I got the results because it went from a rare panda, 1 out of 112, to a rarer panda, which is 1 out of 7 MS70s. This is definitely going in the perma stack as one of my nicest coins, and it came from none other than AppMex. So yes, they do cherry pick, but I cherry picked from AppMex, and lucky me. Score 1 for the little guy. The next group of coins I submitted raw and pretty much clears up and finalizes my 1990s date set for the 1/10 ounce gold pandas. So as mentioned, I prefer to send in the coins myself if I can find them raw, because it's significantly cheaper. I went from an MS69 1999 to an MS70 just by regrading it. And if I were to purchase that, it would have easily cost me double or more. First up in the conserved batch is a 1982 Shortleaf, the rare variety of the 82 1/10 ounce. And here I got 68, and I think it's because of the belly rub on the torso, on the front, on the reverse, and the obverse. You can see at the bottom of the temple on the two sides, and right next to the leaf on the belly. However, I'm still not sure that that qualifies it for a 68, but I did kind of suspect that. Next up is a 69, which I also anticipated it should be. So this one came back what I thought it would. This one is the longleaf variety, and if you recall, I was able to purchase these two as a pair using Make Offer and eBay coupons, gift cards, and the eBucks redemption. So this one was heavily subsidized. This next coin was purchased from AppMex raw and came back an MS69 after conservation. This is also what I expected, so thankfully it came back the price I thought it was. Otherwise, it would have been break even or a slight loss actually if it came back a 68. But now, since it's a 69, I'm definitely up, which is cool. And next is a 1992. This one I purchased from eBay, came back MS68. The price I got for it was lower than the previous one, so this one I kind of broke even. Not under, but you can see that it has a forehead rub and torso rub. And that's pretty much any rubs on a coin will give it will strike a point from it. So this was expected. This next one, a 1993 1/10 ounce small date, was purchased from eBay, and I actually thought this one had a chance for a 70, but after looking at the 99 70, I can see exactly why it didn't, and that lies in the fields. For me, I can see a significant difference between the luster between the 69 and the 70. So now I kind of know what to look for in terms of the luster for a 70, what I think might be a 70. Next is a 1994 large date, which came back MS69. I purchased this in a private sale, sight unseen, from a reputable dealer. And he gave me a great price on it, and I was fortunate that it came back MS69. I was a little scared that it might come back MS68, and I had justification for that. In my other video, I just picked up the 1994 small date from Olam Polam, so can't wait to get that one graded, and that'll finish the pair. Moving right along is the 1995, which came back MS69. Another one that I thought would be a 70, but after looking at it from a real 70, the 1999 70, and this, I can see why it didn't. So that being said, it's still a great grade overall. I'm glad it's a 69. It definitely adds value to the coin. This was purchased from eBay using subsidized gift cards again. So glad to have that in the stack, and I'll put that away. Next up is the 1995 Unicorn, my buddy's submission, which came back PF68. I don't know how he feels about that one, but this one was unsealed. Moving along, this is a 1997 large date, also purchased from eBay. It came back MS69. I was quite surprised this came back 69. I thought it would actually come a grade lower, or two, but was fortunate enough that it came back 69. You can see the temple doesn't look 100%. Another one of my friend's submissions is the 1990 Dragon and Phoenix, which came back PF69. I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy about this. And the difference after conservation is quite extreme. It looks a lot better than it did when I sent it in. So kudos there. It's actually a great looking coin. It looks a lot better than I thought it would. He was actually expecting a 67 or 68 on this one too. So I'm sure he'll be happy to have this back in his possession. Another submission that is not mine is this 1992 quarter ounce large date, which came back MS69. In the previous video, when I submitted it, it had a huge red spot right on the forehead. And now you can't even tell that it was there. So let's take a closer look. Maybe you can tell or not. But it's definitely hard to see that there was a huge red spot right there. So this came back as planned. And this will go back. We're almost to the end now, and it is a 1999 1/10 ounce large date plain 1. In the beginning, you saw a 1999 small date and a serif 1. So all three varieties, and this is the most common of the 1999. This came back MS69, which I'm pretty pleased with. I can't complain. I did think this one might be a little bit lower than the one following it, but hey, 69, no problem. I will take it. This goes into the stack as one that I'm looking to potentially flip, because the next one is also a 1999 1/10 ounce. This one also came back in MS69. So in total, you've seen 4 1999s in all three varieties. And I'm trying to get a clear shot of the field so I can compare the two, and you might be able to see the difference. So here's a look, and if you can see, the 1 is different than the serif 1. So here's the serif 1. So now let's take a quick look at an MS70 1999 Panda and compare it with the 1999s that came back in 69s. And you can see in the field that it's exceptionally smooth. It stands out from the other one. The back looks like a normal back, which is 69 grade, but because of the reverse being so clear, I think that's what actually made it a 70. Can you see that? Hopefully you can, because it's hard to capture, but very noticeable. If you've made it this far, you must really love gold pandas or really want to know more about the Ngc submissions, because it's one of my longer videos for sure. In the past, I've mentioned that I was purchasing semi-key dates, and this is a result of that. Once prices for pandas started creeping up, I had to drop the purchasing of that for bullion, which you can see in more recent videos. And I built these up little by little until I had a submission. And now you can see them all together. I've acquired a number of pandas while people were buying bullion, and then now that people were buying pandas, I started buying bullion. And this 2002 finishes my date set. So my complete set for pandas from 1982 to 2015 is complete with this coin. Before I go, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's commenting, liking, and subscribing.